So one of my colleagues on LinkedIn, John Hatoka, had a post recently about what are your guilty pleasures? And I found myself completely stuck at thinking of, I could think of countless things that I enjoy indulging in, but none that really made me feel too guilty. Anyway, the two things that I mentioned were tamari, almonds, and salted chocolate or salted caramel, anything. Now, all these are finished just about because I can't stop. What's interesting is I'm in very different moods when I choose these two. So when you have guilty pleasures, I don't think any food should give us guilt. Perhaps it's my French heritage and my very balanced outlook and joie de vivre that everything fits. However, unconscious anything is not good for us because we can't consciously change what we're not consciously aware of in the first place. So I know that I'm experiencing a certain kind of mood or craving or lack of boundary setting when I'm munching and crunching hard on the almonds versus when I'm allowing the softness and the nurturing quality of the melting chocolate to soothe me. So these are the kind of things that I want us to talk about in the masterclass next week. How to better manage the way that you approach food so that you don't have to feel guilty about anything, really. How to avoid snackcidents. And it starts with understanding where cravings come from, where and how emotions cause us to eat. Because if we ate for every emotion, we'd be eating all the time because we are emotional beings that occasionally think, not cognitive beings that occasionally feel. So why is it that some emotions lead us to eat? And why is it that some emotions lead us to eat particular foods? And these are the questions that came up at the check-in after last month's masterclass, which is why I decided to do this. And we speak about the digestive system all the time in our language. Like we talk about having a gut feeling or something being hard to digest or having news that made us feel sick to our stomach or something leaving a bad taste in our mouths. So we can see how specifically there's negative connotations around the gut, and stress has a huge impact, not only on our digestion and our energy levels and our ability to metabolize food, and it can cause cravings, but it definitely impacts what we choose to eat. And that could be the link back to emotional eating, right? It's a very vast topic, and I promise you in 90 minutes we're not going to cover everything. But what we are going to do, well, we're not going to have to talk about deep emotional things. I am going to give you reflective questions to think about and things to digest, so to speak. I am going to incorporate some of the area from the field of body psychotherapy and how the digestive system and different parts of it are linked to different emotions, and how what we crave gives us so much valuable information, and why some foods are so incredibly hard to stop once you start. So why it's important to be conscious about them in the first place and create different triggers so that when you get to the crossroad, it's not like a war in your head, because ultimately your heart will always win. And if your heart is feeling lonely, tired, or bored, it's going to want entertainment or distraction or soothing, and it's going to find that, but probably through food. So come along and join me where I will take you through something new. I say new, but thanks to Healing Hub and Nikki Owen and the rest of the team, I've had an opportunity to trial out this new sensorial guided meditation that takes us through the digestive system. I'm not going to say anything more than that. The feedback has been very positive. People have had surprising results and insights because our intuition, our inner wisdom sits inside the gut, right? The gut is called the second brain. So why don't we harness the gut? Why don't we have a conversation with it? Perhaps even have a conversation with our hunger and our appetite and ask what they have to say. Because ultimately they're the ones that are driving these behaviors that we potentially label as emotional or bad or causing us to feel guilt. Life is too short to feel guilt. And that's another link back to the digestive system. Besides the upper digestive system, where we potentially swallow down into the pharynx and then the esophagus and down into the stomach, generally it's all one tube from the mouth to the anus, and it goes in one direction. It's not meant to go the other way. When it does, because of stress or overeating or choosing the wrong things, we can experience a bit of reflux, which is hugely uncomfortable, right? And I'll share perhaps some tips and techniques and natural things that you can do to help with that during the masterclass. But mostly, just like the digestive system is one directional from beginning to end. It's kind of like a primitive reminder of life. You know, life happens without our control, involuntarily, from birth to death. And making the most of those moments in between is so important. And sure, eating your favorite foods and drinks can make you feel incredible, but sometimes that feeling is short-lived and it's in the moment and temporary. So how can we have the best of both? Enjoy a bit of everything, but also make sure that we're sustaining good health, maybe losing some of the weight that we've put on over lockdown, understanding when to express boundaries rather than just eat, and know when to express emotions rather than just eat. So I'll put the link to the masterclass registration below. Please try and join live because there'll be 2 practical exercises, the guided visualization and another one that I'm not going to tell you about just yet. Well, maybe it's a 4-step process to looking at how you eat. So it doesn't matter what you're eating, being aware of how you're eating it. Like I've noticed the difference in me compared to when I'm eating soft melting chocolate to hard, sweet, salty nuts. So we'll take a look at that. It will really be incredible to have you join and be part of it. See you there.